Wait, wait. Oh my God. I look like a chubby baby. Wait, let's see. Okay, and can you share a screen? Ah, there are games that you can play while you stream. No, I'm not gonna play games. Hmm, what is this? Oh, no background. Ah, chat filter. No. What are my glasses? Do, 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 do. Dang. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh my goodness. Wait, wait. I need to wait. I'm recording this video like this. Hello, people. I'm braiding my hair, and I want to address, or not necessarily address. I'm not a reporter or an expert when it comes to issues of xenophobia. But I know that in Africa as a continent, the country that it is most likely to be accused of xenophobia is my country, South Africa. So I will speak on this based on the videos that I will watch the videos that people normally use and portray South Africa as a xenophobic country. And I will make a commentary based on the videos that I watch. I don't know how to share videos. How do they share videos here? I have no idea. I was gonna watch the videos with you and determine if whether those videos they equate to xenophobia, because when you read, first thing foremost, what is xenophobia? Wait, I think I'm gonna, let's just search online, right? What is xenophobia? What is xenophobia? I need the definition. So according to the definition here, Google reads as follows: xenophobia is the irrational fear, distrust, or dislike of people from different countries, cultures, or backgrounds. So the question is, do South Africans hate people coming from other countries, coming from different backgrounds, different backgrounds as theirs, people who practice different cultures? That's the definition as it is. It means that even myself, I think I can be xenophobic against a South African, because most South Africans, not actually most, all South Africans we have different cultures as South Africans. And this is something that many people don't understand. We have different cultures because we have different tribes in South Africa. That is the thing. We have like 9 provinces, right? We have how many official languages? I can say 12 official languages now, including the sign language. Actually, now we have 13. We have 13 official languages, including the sign language and the Khoi. I'm not yet sure if they have fully recognized the Khoi as a language in South Africa, but I know that it has been an ongoing fight between the South African government and the Khoisans to get the recognition that they deserve because they are South Africans. So basically, in South Africa, I think right now we have like 13. Kunchiarai, what is your name? My name is Kate. But then my Thai name is Sukchai. Yes, I'm Sukchai. Kate Sukchai. What is your name? Kunchiarai. So as I was explaining that in South Africa we have 13, like 1 3, 13 official languages. Official. It means when I say official, it means these languages are taught in schools. For example, you see, my name is Itumeti, right? It means I am Pedi. I am a Pedi person in South Africa. I have a language, an indigenous language that I speak back at home, or I speak with my family, with my friends, if we were to talk over the phone. I don't usually speak Pedi um, when I make videos because, hi, hello, how are you? Kunsabaidi mai. I don't usually speak Pedi because I understand that many, of course, it's a South African language. For people outside South Africa, like they don't speak Pedi. Hence, I don't use Pedi when make videos most of the time. So, with that being said, right, we have these 13 languages, right? Basically, it means in South Africa we have like 9 different tribes. Yes, we have 9 different tribes. 9 different tribes, it means like it's a group of people who practice the same culture. Like I am Bedi. My culture is different from the Zulu culture or the Tsonga culture or the Venda culture or even the Ndebelers, the Xhosas, all of them. Like we have different languages, we have different cultures, we have different traditions. We are very different as Black South Africans, actually, to be quite honest. So when people accuse South Africa of xenophobia, sometimes I can say one thing that I've learned so far is that these people are not even well informed about South Africa as a country and its diversity. Because here's the thing, right? I need to watch a video. I'm going to try to watch a video and see the xenophobia that people accuse South Africa of. I'm going to try to see the xenophobia because here's the thing, sometimes people fabricate these videos. And I can say one thing. Let me say one thing, right? One thing for sure. One thing for sure. Like, here's the thing in South Africa, and this is not something new. In South Africa, for example, if you happen, if you happen to commit petty crimes, and maybe you are unfortunate that the community catches you or some man catches you. Let's say we have the issue of people snatching like phones. Like you could be walking like in the street and like some guy, for example, will come out of nowhere and snatch your phone. So this is what will happen in South Africa if they catch you. If they catch you, they are going to beat you. If the police maybe arrives late, the police might find you not dead. They don't kill people. Let me not lie, but they will literally beat you. The community or the people in the streets who catches you stealing people's phone will beat you. So this happens to literally everybody. You can be South African, you can be Zimbabwean, you can be Mozambican, you can be Nigerian. If South Africans catches you stealing or catches you like committing any sort of a crime, it has been something that it has been happening for centuries in South Africa. If you get caught committing a crime, the community reprimands you, the community will beat you up. And now, because many of these people who are caught committing these petty crimes in the streets, they happen to be foreigners, mostly, let's say, African people, right? African people, especially from recently, we are having issues with I think Mozambicans, when it comes to snatching phones. Mozambicans, like, they have this tendency of snatching people's phones. If you snatch a person's phone and the community catches you, they will beat you. It's not xenophobia, but it is just the reality of different cultures of of the country as it is South Africa. I need to watch this video. This is the video that people claim, or they are using to portray South Africa as a xenophobic country. What is that video? No, these people, they make like these crazy thumbnails. Yo, these people, they lie. Yo, these people, they lie. And I think this is one of the problems that I think happens a lot on social media. People, they exaggerate situations. There was this one video of a Ghanaian man circulating, I think, last week. So when you watch like podcasters, influencers, YouTubers, they claim that this man was beaten up by the South Africans. Yo, these people, they lie. I'm laughing because they lie. I watched that video. I watched that video. Oh, they lie. So I need to find that channel. Let me see. What is the name of I forgot the name of that channel. Let me see. Ghanaian man stopped in South Africa. I think I will. Okay, this one. Yeah, so this is the video. I will try to like increase the volume. We're making it very clear to you guys. Now, we don't want you here. We want you to fix your countries. So this is what Victoria said, right? She said, we are making it clear that we guys don't want you here. We want you guys fixing your countries. So a Ghanaian man walking freely in South Africa suddenly gets stopped, surrounded, and told something shocking. We can come to Ghana and do what you're doing. Eh? Now you are carrying a bucket. It's 11 a.m. You were supposed to be fighting the government of Ghana. He was told by the Action SA of South Africa, one of the anti-migrant groups, and this is the problem these people make. This is the mistake these people make. Um, this is actually incorrect. Victoria is not part of Action SA. She's part of PA, which is what is it, like, patriotic alliance. Yes, patriotic alliance. So first thing foremost, what he said is not true. Victoria is not from Action SA. Start there. He's lying. Go back to Ghana and fix his country. India, you see this continent. This thing of you guys moving from one country to the other. I suspect there's no longer working. You know, African people, they're always talking about unity, talking about becoming one. African people are always talking about unity, becoming one people, and I feel like there is this misconception, as in, like, oh, South Africans are against pan-Africanism. Of course, I am South African, and I am for, like, Africans uniting, but you cannot unite in one country. That is not how unity works. And you cannot unite in a continent where 90% of the leaders are corrupt. Like, it is a fact. 90% of African leaders are corrupt. So how can we unite if, let's say, majority of our leaders are corrupt? South Africa itself as a country, our leaders are corrupt. I'm not quite sure about, like, Ghana as a country, but I know Nigerian government, it is corrupt. I know that Zimbabwean government, it is corrupt. Like, Many African leaders or African governments are corrupt, including my own country, South Africa. So if you want to talk about Pan-Africanism, how about people fix the corruption first and then they can talk about Pan-Africanism? Because there is no way you can unite when like your leaders are corrupt. It's impossible. Like these people, they're just being unreasonable. What Victoria said here is that, guys, go home, fix your countries. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We don't want this as African people anymore. We are tired of seeing African migrants moving all over the world. Yes, to be honest, like as an African person myself, it is embarrassing to see many of my people like all over the world, especially begging or doing some sort of uh, maybe serious crimes or just like crimes in general. Like right now, let me tell you something. Right now, I live in Thailand, right? Right now, as of now, I live in Thailand. What your name? My name is Itumeti Kate. Kate. Right now, I live in Thailand, right? Just last week, it was last week or 2 weeks ago, a Nigerian man, right? And here's the thing, in foreign countries, when they arrest a black man, they don't say Nigerian. That's not the headlines in the news. They say African, which means it kind of affect me as an African person that, we see most of our people, they're all over the world committing crimes or begging or sleeping in the streets. It is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. So what Victoria is saying here, it is not wrong. It is not wrong. It's like it has to stop at some point. Africans need to stay in their countries and fix their countries. It's not like it's not a bad thing. We don't want this as African people anymore. Exactly. We're tired of seeing African migrants moving all over the world, refusing to fix your own countries. Now we're making it very clear. Did he say something that to you like feels like it is xenophobic? Is it xenophobic? Was that xenophobic? Is telling your fellow African brother or sister that, guys, let's fix our countries. Is that xenophobic? Was this man beaten up because he's Ghanaian? He wasn't beaten up. He was just told. And people don't understand another thing is that most of the African migrants are men. Men are the people who build countries. Men are the leaders of households, of families and communities. But if we are having majority of African men spreading across like the world, then who is supposed to be fighting for the African problems? If like the very same men who are supposed to be fighting in Africa and in their countries are everywhere in the world. Like who? Who is supposed to be fighting? Because it's men. It like that is like one thing that people don't understand is that most of these movements in South Africa, they were also triggered because the reality is many of these migrants are men, not even women, are men, like Madoda, like men. If we have, let's say, majority of the migrants, African migrants, are whole men. It like it's even crazy. I was when there was that recent case of the Igbo king getting coronated in South Africa. That was very disturbing for me. That okay, I'm not sure if that man is a king or not. Where are you from? I am from South Africa. From South Africa. So that man, like he's a king, right? A king in African culture or in our African culture, a king is someone who leads communities or a community of which they come from. So now you have a Nigerian king living in South Africa. Now, who is leading the Nigerian people if the king is living in South Africa? Make that make sense. A whole king, a king of a community or a king of, I don't know, like I don't know who he leads. I don't know like the territory that he occupies in Nigeria as the king. But make it make sense. Come on. Make it make sense. How can a king, a man who is supposed to lead his community, his nation, if so, because I'm not quite sure about the level of power the Nigerian kings hold. I know in South Africa, is territorial power that they hold, or tribal, not even tribal, because in each and every tribe in South Africa, there are more than 100 kings, without a doubt. In South Africa, in each and every tribe, there are many kings. But you can never find a South African, a Pedi king, a Zulu king, a Xhosa king living in another country. It's embarrassing. It's not even how it is supposed to be. But in for Nigerian, it's normal. A Nigerian king can live in another country, leaving his people behind. Now, who is leading the Igbo people? Because apparently that king claims to be like the Igbo king. Like, just make it make like nothing makes sense about like these people. We don't want you here. We want you to fix your countries. It's a statement they made legit. Or was the man actually in the wrong position at the wrong time? In this is the problem with Africa, right? They always talk about like African pan-Africanism. You guys, as long as they have this mentality of defending nonsense, they will never see the pan-Africanism. Let's hear. Analyze what they told him. And all you gotta do is subscribe and share the video. Now let's get into the story. Guys, if you've enjoyed this video so far, a Ghanaian man is going viral in South Africa after he was stopped by Action SA. Now, it's not Action SA, you bastard. That's PA. This is the problem. They don't even like do their research. They just be reporting on nonsense. That is not actually in South Africa. They have many movements. You guys are still gonna have migraine because you don't even educate yourself with South Africa. You just jump from one misinformation to another. Like Victoria's not from HNSA. She's from PA, Patriotic Alliance. That different organizations. HNSA is an anti-migrant group. Again, he's lying. I'm telling you. Victoria, the lady who was talking here, she represents PA, not Action SA. In South Africa, for them, they are asking illegal migrants to go back to their country and fix their country. Just like, this is very interesting, right? I like the fact that he mentioned illegal migrants, right? He said illegal migrants. So you, sir, you know by now that an illegal migrant in South Africa is not even supposed to exist within our borders. Just like an illegal migrant is not supposed to exist in Ghana, in Zimbabwe, in any other African countries, or in any other country. Illegal migrant, as he's saying, illegal migrant. He should be ashamed of himself for even saying that. You are protecting an illegal migrant, someone you know for a fact that this person is not supposed to exist in that country. Illegal immigration is not just illegal in South Africa. It's illegal in Zimbabwe, our neighboring country, in Botswana, in Lesotho, in Nigeria, in all African countries, or in all countries around the world. Like illegal migrants are deported in every part of the world, not just South Africa. The way they are fixing their country. So if you see South Africa is really on the high road. One thing I even dislike about these guys is that, South Africa, the country again that I come from, it has the highest unemployment rate of all in Africa. Like, at the unemployment rate of South Africa, it is number one in Africa. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? They don't even feel sorry for South Africans, these people. They're just always defending nonsense. Like, South Africa has the highest unemployment rate compared to all other African countries. Number one is number one. It is number one. Keep that in mind. They are protesting. They are standing up to the government. I mean, they are not waiting for the government to come and fix this for them. Because the government doesn't fix nothing. These people are so stupid. They're so dumb. I'm telling you. The government doesn't, even in your own countries, your government doesn't fix shit. And then you think the South African government is any like Samaritan? Our government is as corrupt as other African governments. That is the reality. That is the reality. Number one in the world. Number one in terms of what? Thank you, Sia. Like wait. They are fixing this themselves. This is like I said, right? In Nigeria, they have a government corrupt. In Africa, we have 54 countries, right? Maybe 50 countries, all of those 50 countries, maybe except for 4 countries, the northern countries, You know, the northern countries, like for example, Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia, the northern one. I'm not quite sure about the leadership there. Happy New Month, Sia. How are you? Happy New Month to you too. The northern African countries, right? I'm not quite sure about their leadership, but when it comes to countries governed by black government, I can tell you without a doubt, not in Africa, not Africa, South Africa, the country, not Africa, the country, not Africa, not the continent, not the continent, South Africa, the country. In Africa, right, there is a country called South Africa, the country that it is accused of xenophobia, right? So this country called South Africa, it has the highest unemployment rate in Africa. Not, I'm not talking about the world. I'm talking about like Africa as a continent, not the world. It like South Africa has the highest unemployment rate in Africa, not in the world. I don't know about the world. Probably even in the world, I think South Africa has the highest unemployment rate in the world, not just in Africa. I think globally, so internationally. Internationally, it is number one. Okay, let's listen to this video. What this guy is saying. Do you, do you know another infuriating thing that exactly, exactly. So South Africa has the highest unemployment rate in the world. So, but do you know why I mentioned that? I mentioned this because this guy, he said here, this guy said here, their country. So if you see South Africa, Chinese is an anti-migrant group in South Africa. It's not anti-migrant, it's anti-illegal migrant. Those two things are different. Asking illegal migrants to go back to your country and fix their country. But is like, is it wrong though? For me, I don't understand. Like, why are you provoked by someone telling you to go fix your country? How is you know, if someone came to me and told me to go fix my country, which is South Africa, I don't think I would be offended. I mean, that person wouldn't be lying. It is my responsibility as a South African to contribute to fixing South Africa. 100%. If someone came to me and told me that, Kate, or Kate, by the way, go back to your country and fix your country, I'm not going to be offended. Why would I be offended? Country. So if you see South Africa is really on the high road these days, in fact, they are protesting, they are standing up to the government. I mean, they are not waiting for the government to come and fix things for them. They are fixing things themselves. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sia. You know, another thing I want to like add to this, right? Which is something that you will hear a lot from our African brothers and sisters. They always say, "Oh, let the government fix." Yo, do you think if our government was fixing anything in South Africa, we will be where we are today? We would have the highest unemployment rate in the world? No, of course we wouldn't. We would be like a prosperous country. Like our country will be doing well economically and in terms of like unemployment. The main reason people are protesting is because the government is not doing anything to address the issues that affect ordinary South Africans. And this is something that I don't understand if Africans they choose to not see or not, because for me it doesn't make sense. You guys, you see the struggles of ordinary black South Africans, you see it. So when they fight their government, it's wrong. I'm still waiting for a video where, because these people they claim there is xenophobia whereby South Africans they beat up foreigners. I'm waiting to see that video because the thumbnails it says South Africans were beating up foreigners. Are you permitted to do this in Blantyre? You're not permitted. So why are you doing it in Johannesburg? Like, for me, like that's the same thing. It's like I don't get. And also, let me tell you something. As someone who live abroad, right? I have come. I have come across very some people like Africans. I must say, right? I live in Thailand right now. I've come across, let's say that I want to mention two people, right? These two people, they moved to Thailand, right? They don't have jobs, right? They don't have any financial support from their families, right? And one of them, I tried to help get a job, but the guy was disinterested in literally anything that I proposed. Literally. And I'm like, you are living in a foreign country, you don't have money, then how do you plan to survive here? And then when tomorrow these people get deported, they're going to call the Thai people xenophobic. I don't know what they'll call them, racist or xenophobic. Because even in Thailand, they do deport people here. There are many people who overstay their visas, actually. It happens even here. It does happen. It does. Africans, I agree with you, Amo. I do agree with you that like Africans are hypocrites. I also watched another celebrity in South Africa who actually spoke out about this issue of illegal immigrant. He said something like, "Do you know how difficult it is to enter another country?" I can tell you with my experience here in Thailand. Do you know how much money I paid to live in this country? Do you know how much money I still pay to live in this country? I pay money to live here. I didn't come here illegally. Even with the visa that I hold, I have to renew it every 3 months. I pay money. Oh, really? The Nigerians are protesting to the South African. Like that's what I'm telling you. These people, they don't have sense. Like for, let me tell you something. Before this protest, I also read online uh, other Nigerians calling upon other Nigerians to boycott South African companies. I'm like, are Nigerians that stupid? Are you boycotting the very same companies that create jobs for you? Because you guys, let's say South Africa were to take all their companies out of Nigeria. Let's just say let's just say so. Let's say South Africa today woke up and said we are taking MTN, we are taking Shoprite and other like companies they have in Nigeria. And then what who's going to create jobs for those Nigerians? They have a population of 250 million people. Their government has failed them for decades. And now they're saying they're going to boycott South African companies. I'm like, yo, these people, they have like different mindset. Like, how do you boycott the very same companies that create jobs for your people? Like, make that make sense. How do you boycott the companies that make job for your people? Because those South African companies in Nigeria are creating jobs for them. Unfortunately, as a South African, there is no Nigerian company in South Africa that is creating jobs for South African. There isn't. Name one Nigerian company in South Africa that it is creating jobs for South Africans. Because we have the highest unemployment rate. They should bring us their own companies and create jobs for us the same way we are doing it for them. They won't complain about this stupid xenophobia thing. You cannot argue with a Nigerian. That's one thing I have learned. You just can't. Let me tell you, there is this one Nigerian man, like this man is very stubborn. Let me tell you something, right? According to me, right? I will tell you something when it comes to, let's say, Nigerian people who sell in the streets, like in the pavement. If those people were selling, right? If Nigerian people, like, this is something that Nigerian people are not very smart. If Nigerian people, they want to trade in the informal sector in South Africa, they can do the same way South Africans are doing. So in South Africa, they have like demarcated areas for informal traders. Like you can see this, you can go to small towns everywhere. There are demarcated areas where like you can trade informally. But Nigerians, they don't do it like that. They just they let me tell you, a Nigerian person can open a shop anywhere, even if the like on a pavement, the very same pavement with a board that is written no informal trading here. A Nigerian can put his business there. Even reading that board, seeing this board says no informal trading, a Nigerian can put a board there and trade. And then when tomorrow they are removed from that spot, they call South Africans xenophobic. No, you're not being removed because you're a Nigerian. You are removed because you are trading at a place where you see there is a board that tells you no trading. Can Nigerians read English? They can read English, but that's what I'm telling you, like they're just stubborn people. They don't want to follow rules. They don't want to listen to nobody. When you try to educate them, you are xenophobic. Let Nigerians go and trade in the demarcated areas. I guarantee you, nobody will chase them away. Nobody. The problem is that they want to trade on pavements. You see the pavements where you walk? They want to trade there. That's where Nigerians want to trade. You see, there it's South Africa, the country South Africa. You see, there is no South African trading there. You are alone as a Nigerian. Ask yourself a question. Why aren't South Africans trading here? Why? Because that place, it is not a demarcated trading area. That's why South Africans, they don't trade there. It's not because they don't want to. They would like to trade there. It's a pavement. It's a pedestrian walk. You cannot trade on a pedestrian walk. There is even, like I'm telling you, there is this stubborn Nigerian man who, like in the end, the PA, they had to like really, really take his stock. They had to take his stock because this man was very persistent. They removed him from the pavement, the pedestrian walk. They told him like, dude, you cannot trade here. Like, guy, it's not even that, it's not difficult. Dude, you can't trade here. Look at the board. The board is saying no trading, no informal trading. Guess what? That guy, he didn't listen. He kept coming back. He kept coming back. He kept, and the first time when they tried to remove him, he was very arrogant. Very, very arrogant. I saw the video. They are very arrogant, these people. He was very arrogant. He was very arrogant and disrespectful. They tried to educate him. Bro, bro, we don't care that you're a Nigerian, right? You are an African man, you are in South Africa, you're trying to make an honest living, or yeah, he's hustling, fine. But go and trade in demarcated areas. Go and trade where you see South African trading. You cannot trade on pavements where people are supposed to walk. But no, that guy, he was like, you know what they do? They be like, yeah, who are you? Who sent you? Who are you? This is Nigerians responding to South Africans. Who are you? Who sent you? You're not the law enforcement. Hey, South Africans are the law enforcement. South Africans are the law enforcement. They are the law, like the South African citizens are the law enforcement. They have every right to take laws in their own hands. They have been doing this for decades, and they're not going to change because of Nigerians or other people or Paki. Now we have a serious issue with Ethiopians, even the Pakistanians, even the Bangladesh, Pakistanians, and Ethiopians. They're going to feel South Africans very soon. Watch you soon. The xenophobia you will see in the news. It will no longer be against Africans. It will be against the Pakistanians, the Bangladesh. Ethiopians are also Africans, but they will be included under the Bangladeshians. I don't know what is their race. Are they what is their race? Are they Arabs? Indians? What are they? What is their ethnicity? What is their ethnicity? Wait, let me see. The ethnicity of like Pakistan, I think that they're Indians, right? Or they're just like Pakistanians. They don't have like ethnicity. Are they Arabs? Ethnicity of Pakistan. Okay, no, they don't have like a typical Punjabis. I don't know. I think maybe I probably saw this in the movies or hear this in the movies. But I'll just call them Pakistanians, Bangladesh, and Ethiopians. Like I'm telling you, they are the ones who are going to be crying very soon in South Africa. And you will hear more stories that South Africa is xenophobic. Let's finish the video of this guy. Do you know what is happening in this video? It's a Malawian guy. He's holding a bucket of, I think, those are like boiled eggs, right? I will say this again, right? I am not against people hustling their way out of this life. I'm not against it, right? I'm not. Like, I'm not against it. But guys, let's try to make sense out of this. How do you leave your country as a Malawian to go and sell boiled eggs in South Africa? Guys, this is poverty. For me, I always call it like continuous poverty. No, it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong for us as Africans also. I feel like also it's like it kind of paint a bad picture on the Malawian people, for example. I don't know, maybe as South Africans sometimes we are privileged that we don't even understand that selling boiled eggs in another country could mean success for another human being. Maybe we are that privileged because for me, I feel like it is degrading as an African person to leave your country and go sell boiled eggs in another country. I feel like it is degrading. And look at him. He doesn't look. He's selling boiled eggs because he even have the armament. You see? This is what they call xenophobia. When you try to have like a full conversation with your fellow African person, they say xenophobia. You guys were here sitting on the streets. They've now elected an 85-year-old to rule Malawi. Where are the jobs for you? Oh, yes, I saw that. That the president of Malawi is like, yo, that man, like, he couldn't even walk. I'm not joking, you know? The people of Malawi are allowing that madness to continue in Malawi. It's corruption. I understand, guys. I understand. Especially young African men like yourself. Like he's still very young. You see, like this is the guy who can still be in university, you know, and he can finish university and like work in a decent company. Brothers are teaching you to run away from home, run away from responsibilities. Instead of you making sure that your own leaders account, you are not doing that. You rather leave the gold and the mines and whatever there in Malawi to come and sell in foreign land. Do you think it has sense? It makes sense. So we want you to go. You guys are not going to be. But both eggs, though. No, this is degrading for the Malawans. Malawans, I'm not laughing at your problems, huh? I'm just, I am just saying that as Africans, we need to have dignity. I feel like we need to have dignity as African people. You cannot go to another African country and sell boiled eggs. How? So that they can also assist in creating job opportunities. But this thing of you guys roaming the streets like this, when your own countries are collapsing, we no longer support it. As an African woman myself, I'm an African woman in South Africa. Let's all be African while we are in our countries, ensuring that our own government accounts. That's what we're asking from you guys. I understand that but are you in agreement? Yeah, I agree with what let me warn you. If you don't listen, the name is Shaban. And let me warn you, if you don't listen, you're going to have to become homeless here. So it's true. Ghana is what? It's true. Like guys, how can you even like in Johannesburg? How can you afford to buy? I mean, to pay for rent, living in Johannesburg, just selling boiled eggs. I would understand if it was a South African selling boiled eggs in Johannesburg because Many South Africans, they have homes in Johannesburg. So basically, you don't necessarily need to pay rent. Like they have houses in Soweto. For example, someone from Soweto can wake up, like a South African from Soweto, can wake up and go and sell boiled eggs in the CBD. Because, he doesn't have or she doesn't have to pay rent. But like now let's talk about a Malawian guy in South Africa. He's selling boiled eggs. Let's talk about rent. How much is rent in Johannesburg? How much is he paying for rent? Food, clothes, toiletry, electricity, or utilities in general. Do you think that the money he makes from selling those eggs cover those expenses? I don't think so. I don't think so.
One country that South Africans actually love. And even recently, there was a whole video made by a bunch of South Africans saying how they love Ghanaians. Okay, in case you didn't watch this video, here's the video.
Of course, we love Ghanaians.
From South Africa. Ghana people in South Africa are fantastic. We are working hand in hand. We never have any problem with Ghana people. They never been reported in police station of any kind of a problem.
Ghana allowed South Africa is not allowed.
Guys, you are fantastic. We need more Ghana people. I think we need to give them a land whereby it will be only Ghana people in South Africa. They deserve it. And also, we need our own in Ghana. The relationship is fantastic. I tell you.
This person is not South African, I'm sorry.
My name is Joseph, and you? Dike Lady. Dike Lady. Lovely name. From South Africa, right?
Zanzi Zulu. Oh, ni amukelekile ezweni lethu lasemzansi.
What language do they speak in Ghana?
We say Akwaba.
Akwaba. In Sesotho we say amukelekile mo lefatsheng la rona.
What language do they speak in Ghana?
What about your beautiful?
Umuhle, umuhle ngesizulu.
Wait, what do Ghanaians speak?
Thank you so much.
So when are you coming to Ghana?
Next year.
You intend to visit Ghana in next year. So which place do you really want to visit?
You know the most popular tourist friendly or tourist spot in Africa, the country is Kenya. Like most of my European clients, they always tell me about Kenya. What is that place again? Zanzibar. They always talk about Zanzibar. Like yesterday, another one of my clients asked me about Zanzibar. I've not been in Zanzibar, of course, I couldn't lie to her, but I did tell her the truth that it is actually popular amongst tourists. So if it is popular, that means it's a beautiful place and it is rich of nature, and the people are amazing. Kenyans actually digest amazing people in Africa. That one I can say.
Is it the gate of no return?
It's Cape Coast.
Cape Coast, yeah.
Elmina Castro.
Almina Castro.
Sure. Castro.
Castro.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to go there.
Wow.
I think there's a lot of history. It's rich in history.
So that's the main reason why you want to visit.
Yeah, and I like Ghanaians. Ghanaian people, like we've got people from Ghana, from where I stay, yes. Yes.
In South Africa, they're all people, Sissy.
So that is a humble.
Yes, you are. Thank you.
Okay. So
Thank you so
there's
much.
connection between Ghana and South Africa.
Definitely.
Thank you
so much.
Okay.
Fun guys.
Okay. Bye.
My name is McDonald. I'm here from South Africa. And to send it to all the Ghanaians. Salute.
And when that video went viral, some people even think that, they don't mind Ghanaians. If you're Ghanaian, you can work there. If you're Ghanaian, you can work illegally there. So, in this video, they told me to
No.
contact.
Wait, no. This, you see, he just made up his own lies there. He said just because the South Africans say they love Ghanaians, it means Ghanaians can work illegally in South Africa. You see, he just made up a lie there. That's not what they said. They said we love Ghanaian people. They didn't say Ghanaians can come and work illegally in South Africa. He made that one up.
Ghanaian migrant who was allegedly, roaming freely on the street of South Africa. And they told him one important thing, that he should go back to Ghana and fight his government and make sure the government does the right thing. And that was a powerful statement.
We are fixing this continent. This thing of you guys moving from one country to the other.
it's no longer working. We don't want this as African people anymore. We are tired of seeing African migrants moving all over the world, refusing to fix your own countries. Now we're making it very clear to you guys, Utitina, we don't want you here. We want you to fix your countries.
But for me, what is wrong with like Victoria saying, guys, you have to fix your country? How is that xenophobic?
Document. You came with a passport. You know that you are a visitor, but when now you decided to come and integrate in our communities, you know very well that what you have done is wrong.
How many children do you have here?
We can come to Ghana and do what you're doing. Passport. Now you are carrying your bucket. It's 11 a.m. You are supposed to be fighting the government of Ghana.
Look at this, like this is the Ghanaian man. Look at him.
To ensure that they're getting things right.
No, there's no fight in Ghana. You must fight one day.
Where's your papers?
Passport.
Passport.
Where's your passport?
Take it down.
Let me see your passport. Let me see. Okay, tell me, who's the police officer that you are bribing to certify these things for you? Baba, let me tell you, I'm not foolish. These things, let me tell you, you know by law you're not supposed to certify as an immigrant. You're not allowed to certify your passport. No.
Okay. Another thing they also found was that the guy has had his passport stamped severally. You see, that kind of thing. How can you leave South Africa and return the same day? But the guy has his passport stamped that he went out of South Africa and he entered that same day, which is practically impossible. But that is one of the things people do. You know, I understand. I don't want to talk a lot here, but that's what people do. So they question this guy on it.
Why do you certify your passport in a foreign land? Okay. Let's just start there. Why do you certify your passport in a foreign land?
It was raining.
You guys like Facebook.
It was raining these days. And when you go out with the passport, sometimes it gets spoiled. That's why I said it's fine so that it won't spoil.
Baba, Ghana don't do that. Ghana don't do that.
All right, sharp.
Ghana
Let me show you.
is African country that is.
Let me show you that when I are using our systems, on the 10th of April, okay, the 10th of April, you entered your country when? The very same day you came back. When? Yeah, it's a proof. Yeah.
You see, this guy, he was walking around with a fraudulent document.
Because here it says you exited Ghana to South Africa. When? Here it says you entered, here you exited. And it's the same date. It's the 10th of April, 10th of April.
This stamp you got there in Elov Street on the street. This is where you got the stamp. Oh, they got a connection here.
No.
I am telling you, that's where they buy it from.
And eventually they told him that they cannot come to Ghana and do what he's doing in South Africa. Which is true. How can you be doing all those things in South Africa? So, like I said, not all Ghanaians are good like that, right? We have some bad Ghanaians somewhere. And I am glad that the people are working on this, like they are talking, like they are approaching him. So if you are bad, they will talk to you. If you are good, they will praise you. You understand? And this also goes to tell that it's not that Ghanaians are immune in South Africa.
Okay, now he's talking sense.
No one has problem with you. But if you're not doing the right thing, they'll question you just like they question any other person. So that was the video I came and I decided to share with you. What is your take on the video? Leave your comment in the comment section for today.
Let me see your passport. Let me see. Okay, tell me, who's the police officer that you are bribing to certify these things for you?
For me, like one thing I dislike about this is that, like, as South Africans, as Africans amongst ourselves, we are just degrading ourselves.
Why do you certify your passport in a foreign land? Let's just start there. Why do you certify your passport in a foreign land?
Protesters unite against xenophobia in South Africa. Yo, this is nonsense. Let's see. Like, these people, they lie. I want to see another one. The news.
the African governments run by Black people governments fail so that they can.
Okay.
But first of all, I just want to say how disingenuous it is for.
But like, do you think like African leaders cannot lead countries? Is that so? Because to be honest, when you look at Africa as a continent, when it comes to development, they're failing dismally.
You want to suggest the issue of documenting people. The same people who are saying we must document people are the same people that always say we don't have borders. So what is the plan? We're going to document people, and then they're still going to come in, and then you're going to document more people, and then they're still going to come in. That's not a solution, and I don't think any person who loves this country will ever think of anything like that. And like I said, none of these people who are saying these people must come into our country want them to live in their communities. It's always people who live in these communities that are upper that want to subject the poor people to even more competition, even more poverty, even more strained resources. So our South African communities must not grow. I mean, schools in Umhlanga, Umhlanga are doing well. They've got swimming pools, etc. But come to the locations, Soweto, Alex, Kwamashu, and you won't find those resources. And the reason we can't grow in infrastructure is because we're so busy nursing feelings of other African countries who have subject their own people to poverty. It's not our responsibility to take care of the failures of other African countries. And for the fact that people like Sharon keep saying that we must feel sad for other African countries, this is the very reason why Africa as a continent is not going to grow. Let me tell you, if the likes of lawyers for human rights and other organizations really cared about Africans, they would be trying to improve the rest of Africa. But that's
I've said the same thing. Like the same goes to like UN. If UN really cares about South Africa, they would have dealt with the Gaza situation a long time ago. Ask yourself a question: why is there still genocide in Gaza if the UN is relevant?
They want to see South Africa fail dismally so that they can usher in a new government that they think is going to be more suitable to run South Africa other than the one that is run. And I'm going to say it. I know you're going to say I'm wrong for this, but they would love to see the African governments run by Black people governments fail so that they can come and take over. That's my stand and that's my belief. But just in this whole issue of immigration is a process that is legal. It happens legally. The reason why we ask certain people to come into a country in a certain way and at a certain time is to allow for background checks to be done on that particular individual who wants to come into the country.
But also, what is wrong with wanting South Africans to come to South Africa legally? What is wrong?
Make sure that that person is not running away from other things that they've done in the country. They're not mercenaries. They're not on Interpol, etc. But we're not allowed to do that according to the likes of lawyers for human rights, because we must just take every single person, no matter how horrible they are, and they must come live in South Africa, and then we must shut up about it. Because if we don't shut up about it, then we're xenophobic. These same NGOs and NPOs, as I'm wrapping up, Clement, we were with the Department of Social Development, and one of the critical questions that we asked them is that as a Department of Social Development, how do you verify that all these NPOs and NGOs that are getting funding are using this money to sustain the very people they keep flooding us with? Because remember, the United Nations does not fund the South African government. They fund organizations exactly like the Lawyers for Human Rights and Somalis in South Africa and Nigerians in South Africa. So where is that money coming from, and what are they doing with it if they're not funding for the livelihood of their own people?
That this toxic culture of hating and othering on social media isn't accidental. It is deeply tied to the profit models of major tech companies like Amazon and Google and X. Our problems are one of the failure to transform our country, wealth redistribution. The richest remain a tiny percentage in our country, predominantly white people, and our government, in order to address the conditions, the lack of resources, the informal settlements, the conditions that people are living under in townships, is income grant and a wealth tax. The current
I
history
feel like
of migrants.
South Africans no longer want grants; they want jobs. This thing of grants is nonsense. These grants don't even cover for household expenses. Give people jobs. People need jobs. People need skills. People need better education. They don't want free money from government. They've been like giving South Africa free money for decades, and they think like that is how they can shut South Africans' mouths up. Keep your free money, create jobs, let people work, improve schools, and do away with like free universal money.
Is scapegoating, where parties like MK, like the Patriotic Alliance, like Herman Mashaba's Action SA, are scraping the bottom of the barrel in order to try and get people to vote for them by making all our problems because of the migrants. And our problems are not because of the migrants. The problems are because of poverty, driven
What
by
creates poverty?
in our country and by corruption.
What creates poverty actually? Poverty is created when the government cannot take care of its people, or when the government is burdened by illegal immigrants. That's what creates poverty.
Like the Guptas and corruption and mismanagement as being exposed in the Badlanga Commission.
Sharon, let me start with you, and I want to start with this question, the suggestion that's been made about regularizing illegal immigrants. Could legalizing undocumented migrants in South Africa
Imagine.
reduce?
You know one thing I hate about these things, like they treat South Africa as if it's like a first world country like Spain. You know, Spain has every right to maybe legalize the undocumented documents, or I mean undocumented migrants, because it's a first world country. Like Spain is rich. They can do that. South Africa is not a rich country. Of course, they cannot afford to document everyone. You document them and then give them what job? Already, like I said, the unemployment rate in South Africa, it is high. Then if you document all illegal immigrants, what jobs are you going to give them for them to live in South Africa legally? What jobs? They don't even have jobs for South Africans. Where are they going to now get the jobs for the documented illegal immigrants? These people, they don't use common sense.
The pressure and restore order, or would it deepen this existing crisis?
Well, I mean, I think, and I want to address your point of the existing crisis and what is the crisis. But
Mind you, this is the lawyer of human rights in South Africa. The lawyer. This is someone who's supposed to represent South Africa. Listen to her.
I think that in the context of South Africa in particular, and I agree this is a global phenomenon, and what's
Hey, we don't care about global phenomenon. Talk about South Africa.
worrying about this global phenomenon is that it is particularly black.
This is, you know, I feel like sometimes I understand the frustration of South Africans. Every single time, like a South African, like leader, it could be like a minister or a mayor or a premier. Whenever they are asked a question about South Africa, they are going to beat around the bush and talk about global issues or continental. They never address South African issues directly. Never. They never do that. Now she's making like the illegal immigrant in South Africa a global phenomenon. So what? Talk about the issues in South Africa with respect to illegal immigrant. Don't tell us about like we are not in Europe. We are not in England. We've seen also in England that illegal immigration is an issue. But now the question is about South Africa, because she's the one who suggested the documenting of illegal immigrants. Now she's asked, okay, now by documenting illegal immigrants, will it pose any danger, or will it solve the problems in South Africa, or will it make these problems worse? And then now she goes to talk about illegal immigrant issue being a global phenomenon. That was not the question. So for the system to work, there has to be rich and poor. If we're all to be rich, no one will see the need to work. You see, that is not true. I disagree with you. Let me tell you something. I lived in South Korea, okay? I lived in South Korea, not anymore. I lived in South Korea. There is no poor or poverty in South Korea. There isn't. And let me tell you something. Koreans are motivated to work more than African people who come from poverty, in fact. So saying that there must be the poor, there must be the rich, that is incorrect. I refuse. I rebut. I refuse to agree with that. I'm telling you, I live in South Korea. There is no poverty in that country. There is no poverty. You see, the very same South Africans who don't want to come back to South Africa, they will tell you that life is better there. Life is better. Not just imagine myself as a foreigner in South Korea. I was earning money that I thought it was like better until I met a Korean person and told me that my boss is cheating on me. Imagine, in my mind, I thought I was getting paid a good salary while living in South Korea. When I was working in South Korea, I thought I was getting paid a huge amount of money. And I met a Korean person, a driver, Uber driver. I mean, they call it cow taxi driver there. The guy said to me that your boss is cheating you. He told me that a person, because they don't have sponsorships there, they have convenience stores, which is something that Victoria from PA is advocating for. So the shutdown of sponsors in South Africa, the goal is to create a new system of informal informal trading to do with like shops. So they're trying to create like some sort of a system whereby there will be shops in each and every corner of South Africa. And then these shops will be run by South Africans. And these shops will sell South African goods. So this is what they're trying to achieve. Uh, yes, that's what I'm saying. But like you said, that is true. Or did I read well? Is true that and for the system to work, there has to be the because you said that for a system to work, there has to be the rich and the poor. So I was rebutting that this notion that in a country there must be like poor people or rich people. That's the only way a country can function. It is incorrect. That's what I was rebutting. It is incorrect. We are led by the oligarch. What is that? I've been seeing this word a lot recently with respect to the Iranian war. Let me see what that is. Oli. I've been seeing it a lot. So I just assumed that it refers to like the superpowers, you know? How do you even pronounce this word?
Oligarch.
Oligarch. Oligarch is a member of small, wealthy, and powerful elite that controls a country or in the often exerting disproportion influence over. Okay, I do agree with this one. Yeah, South Africa, it is led by this oligarch.
Oligarch.
Such a difficult term, oligarch. Okay, I agree. That is the system in South Africa. Of course. But not only them, right? But not only them. Not only them. I think, for example, let me tell you in Thailand, for example. Here in Thailand, if I go out right now, and go to a street market, you will never find a foreigner selling. Never. If right now I request the motorbike, I will never be driven by a foreigner. If it's like the informal um, sector here, it is well guarded. Foreigners, you cannot find foreigners trading here. That is why that even though maybe sometimes people may have like financial issues, they are able to wake up in the morning and do those like jobs, like in the informal sector, because they don't have any competition. Like I'm telling you, like the most common like job here for, let's say, poor people or people coming from disadvantaged background, it is probably selling food in like food markets. They have food markets here. You go to all those food markets, you will not find foreigners. all the food markets here in Thailand, here are owned by Thai people. 100%. 100%. But in South Africa, when you go to the informal sector today, it is like populated by illegal immigrants or foreigners. I don't know if they are legal or not. This goes to show like the issue is not even this oligarch. It's also illegal immigrants, because they even take those small jobs that were supposed to be done by South Africans. Imagine, let me tell you something. Imagine if today in South Africa, each and every Bolt or Uber ride that you get, like that you request, if it was driven by South Africans, the Uber Eats, those motorbikes, if they were driven by South Africans, the you go if you lived in Johannesburg, man, in Johannesburg, what do we call that place? My Mai. You know the My Mai, the that place in Johannesburg called My Mai. You go to My Mai, right? When you go there, that's informal sector. But when you go to My Mai, the people who cook there, I can guarantee you that there is no South African cooking there in My Mai. All those people cooking there in My Mai are all foreigners. All foreigners in My Mai. My Mai. My Mai, I don't know if, for example, I could estimate how much money they make there. They make millions in that place. That place is always packed. It is always packed. If just imagine, look at the sponsor shops today in South Africa. You saw you saw, I don't know if you saw this one of the videos. Yeah, South Africa is playground. I agree with you. You see the videos. I saw one of the videos of the PA. There was because remember, these videos are different. There are videos whereby South African people call these movements to come and help them with illegal foreigners. For example, we have issues where you might accommodate an immigrant, but then they refuse to pay rent. So it was the very same issue with one of the recent videos that I watched. So in this case, I think it was in Pretoria. So this lady, who is a South African lady who owned the place, she owed the municipality, I think, over 200,000 rands. And she asked those, I think they are Ethiopians, sponsor shop owner, to help her pay the municipality. They refused. And then when she called PA, the very same people who are called vigilantes, eh? What she called them, and then they have, because she tried to get rid of those people in her shop, but they refused. These people, they refuse. Those people, they refuse to leave. So she had to ask help from the Victoria people, the PA people. The PA people, they went there, and then guess what? So this was very interesting, and Victoria pointed this one out. She said, this person, as soon as they saw that we are getting rid of them, they proposed to give the landlord 100,000 rands. Do you see like these people are making a lot of money? Do you see like these people are making a lot of money? 100,000 rands. 100,000 rands. Imagine 100,000 rands. An Ethiopian man whose job is to run a spaza shop. He offered 100,000. That is a lot of money. And then the government or some people will tell you that sponsor shops are useless. They are useless if people can make 100,000 rands. If someone can offer you 100,000 rand, it is useless. It's not useless. That's business. So for me, I 100 support PA, Action SA, March and March. Because I also, wait, I need you to listen to the memorandum that they just submitted yesterday. The memorandum that they submitted yesterday, then Pretoria. Let me try to find it. I'm just gonna go with the first point. The first point. Let's say March and March memorandum. I'm not sure if it will show me memorandum. Let me see if I can find that video of a guy. Because the guy, he was actually listing the demands that we're making, the recent protest that is going on there in Pretoria, Johannesburg and Pretoria, because it's like both, right? In Gauteng, actually. I'm not sure if I can find the video of the man who made a list of the demands, I think. Let me see.
Now, members of March and March movement are marching.
Oh, they submitted the second memorandum of demands at Gauteng legislature.
Of demands, pardon me. Now, yesterday, Deputy Minister in the Presidency, Nomlaba Mhlawuli, received a memorandum at the Union Buildings in Pretoria, acknowledging their concerns as legitimate. The group believes
I hope she could read the memorandum.
Contributing to high unemployment, affecting both job seekers and professionals such as teachers and doctors. They're also of the view that this leads to non-compliance with labour laws. SABC News reporter Lopang Alam was in Johannesburg CBD and joins us with the very latest. Good morning to you again, Lopang. Earlier when we spoke, you had just interviewed a man of the cloth who even quoted scripture saying foreign nationals must return to their place of origin. What is the very latest from where you are now?
I'm not finding it. Correct. So I will just try to paraphrase, right? So the memorandum, the first point was with regard to sponsorships. So the memorandum made it clear that we do not want foreigners running sponsorships. We do not want. They made that point very clear, that we do not want illegal foreigners or foreigners in general in the informal sector. They said that's what they said, but they specified the sponsorship specifically because the sponsorships today in South Africa, they have become very dangerous for South Africans, mostly because now we have Ethiopians, we have Pakistanians, we have the Bangladesh people. They are marking territories, and it's true. There is another guy who is a young man. He is missing. The search, it is still ongoing. He is missing because he operated a sponsorship near these Ethiopians. So apparently his, I don't know, kidnapping, it is linked to this Ethiopian. And this thing has been happening. I have seen many videos of this same incidents whereby when a South African tried to open a shop, it's either they vandalize it. Yes, yeah, Mazu from, yes, that one. I've seen that case. It is still ongoing. Like from First Loras. Yes, I saw that one. It's a very serious issue. So the government, like imagine, let's just say we don't have PA, we don't have Action SA, we don't have March and March. Do you think these problems we would know about them as we do today? We wouldn't. It is because of matches like March and March, PA, and Action SA that we now are realizing and seeing that no man, these people that we have been accommodating for years in our countries, thinking that they're trying to make an honest living, they're no longer making an honest living. They're threatening our people, and they're driving our people out of the informal sector, like violently so. The Bangladesh people, they have guns even. They threaten to shoot. Like the case, actually, it involved some colors. It was a colored family people. They called on PA to come and help them because they have been trying to open a sponsor shop. But these Bangladeshi people, they say, this is our territory. You cannot open a supermarket or a shop here. Do you see these things? And then when you see people like March and March protesting, and are you calling them what do you call vigilante? They're not vigilantes. These people, they are fighting for the greater cause of South Africans who cannot go to universities and be educated and become lawyers and doctors. People who are not gifted academically. This fight is for them, the vulnerable South Africans who don't have guns, like the Ethiopians and the Pakistanis and the Bangladesh. So you see a lot of people calling them, oh, vigilante, oh, xenophobic. No, it's not about xenophobia. If a South African could open a supermarket or a sponsor shop today and then nobody threatened them, I don't think they would have any problem with Pakistanis or Ethiopians. They are having problem today because these Pakistanians, they are threatening them. And can you even imagine in your own country someone telling you that you cannot open a shop because apparently the area belongs to them? How can an area belong to a foreigner in your own country? So that is what is happening. So this one, it is called a shutdown. Okay, now let's listen to the debate.
And brown bodies that are being repressed by
Wait, let's
actions of
go back.
existing crisis. And what is the crisis?
I need to the question.
As being exposed in the Badlanga Commission.
Sharon, let me start with you, and I want to start with this question, the suggestion that's been made about regularizing illegal immigrants. Could legalizing undocumented migrants in South Africa reduce the pressure and restore order, or would it deepen this existing crisis?
Well, I mean, I think, and I want to address your point of the existing crisis and what is the crisis.
Okay.
But I think that in the context of South Africa in particular, and I agree this is a global phenomenon, and what's
Again, global phenomenon. Who cares? They're asking about South Africa.
Is that it is particularly black and brown bodies that are being repressed by actions of ICE in America, by Europe keeping out people that happen to have a black.
Yo, this woman, like, I want to remind you again. This woman, the speaker right here is the lawyer for human rights. Imagine she's talking about the USA. She's talking about ICE. How does ICE have to do with South African illegal immigrants crisis?
Skin for fear of contaminating those populations, predominantly white people in Europe and America. It's the complexity in South Africa needs to be discussed as well. But I would support the amnesty, and for this reason, that our current documentation system, the asylum system, is in crisis. And the crisis is caused by the fact that there is a constitutional violation. That violation is located in the administrative justice, the aspect of our constitution.
Now, who wrote our constitution?
That says everyone has the right to administrative action. And what we are seeing is that there's a serious...
Exactly, and she's not even addressing the issue. That's the most disgusting thing also. No. They're definitely, they are detached from reality, these people. They're like President Ramaphosa. I also listen to Ramaphosa sometimes when he addresses the nation. And I'm like, are these people like pretending at this point not to see the problems that South Africans are crying about? Or honestly, are they just speaking like from the point of privilege or a place of privilege? Because she hasn't even addressed the issue. She hasn't.
Ensuring administrative justice. And the Department of Home Affairs is not only failing people seeking refuge, asylum seekers.
Bro, you're talking about refugees. The issue is about South Africans and the sufferings they go through daily because of illegal immigrants.
Refugees, but it's also failing South Africa.
When it comes to asylum seekers, I'll always say this, that if like you talk about asylum seekers and you were talking about the people from Sudan, I will probably maybe listen and understand. Hey, in Africa, the only country or the only people who are subjected to genocide or whatever they call it, what's happening in Sudan right now, there are people from Sudan, that the Sudanese. But when it comes to asylum seekers in South Africa, there is not even like a Sudanese or a Sudan person. It's people who come from countries where there are no wars. So how do you even call those people asylum seekers? Imagine calling a Zimbabwean an asylum seeker. Who's killing Zimbabweans in Zimbabwe? Nobody. Calling Nigerians asylum seeker. Who's killing Nigerians in Nigeria? Nobody. Nigerians have their own terrorist groups there. They do have their own issues there. But they are not in war with any country.
Africans, and predominantly working class South Africans. There are figures of about 7 million South Africans who've had their IDs blocked just arbitrarily by this same department. So there is a problem of the administration of documentation. And I want to put it to you that
exactly. How can you guys solve South Africans who have their IDs blocked while you're concerned about issues that are like outside of South Africa? Had their focus been South Africa, maybe that you would have found the solution by now.
in our past, in the way in which Black people are treated like cattle, and the
She's not even black, but she's speaking for black people.
Just a simple thing like birth registration of babies was a serious crisis because you were Black and your no access to the dignity of being documented.
And we don't even know how many illegal immigrants in this country, and those who are making the suggestions are saying this is going to improve the state's ability to track, to regulate, and to even manage migration. But before I go...
But the issue is not only about tracking these people. The issue also now is stretches to unemployment. Like now, what jobs are these people going to work while South Africa doesn't have jobs? Let's start there. What jobs? Like right now, South Africa, they're still fighting for land expropriation. And which land are they going to be given? Because there's still land expropriation cases right now. There is unemployment crisis, shortage of school crisis. So which schools are their children going to attend? We also have poor service delivery when it comes to hospitals and clinics. Like you document these people and then what?
To Jacinda, Sharon, as you've heard, during the last couple of weeks when we have seen these marches, these protests, the biggest concern that's been raised is we are competing for resources. There are so many illegal immigrants here.
Which is unfair. This is unfair and it is vulgar for South African people. Why would you subject the locals to fight for their own resources with illegal immigrants? Like, what's happening in South Africa, to be honest, like, it is quite devastating and frustrating because if you go to Nigeria today, you will never find Nigerians fighting over their resources with foreigners. If you go to Zimbabwe today, you are not going to come across Zimbabweans fighting over their resources with illegal immigrants. If you go to Ghana today, you're not going to find Ghanaians fighting over their resources with illegal immigrants. If you go to Namibia today, you're not going to find Namibians fighting over their resources with illegal immigrants. If you go to Kenya today, you're not going to find illegal immigrants or locals fighting over their resources with illegal immigrants. Why must it always be South Africans also? I mean, actually, why must it be South Africans put in this kind of unreasonable situations? You know, there was like that another case in January, in Durban, the one of what is her name? Jacinto Zuma, Jacinto. That case where they were protesting against the school that was accused of accepting illegal immigrants over South Africans first. Remember, when you remember back in the days when we used to go to school, like it was easy for us to just get registered in schools. It was very easy to get registered in schools. Our parents didn't have to go through unnecessary complex channels to get us registered in schools. There weren't such like problems back in the days. No, there weren't those problems, and you wouldn't get rejected from public school because they will tell you about space. We didn't have those problems, but today we have these problems because of illegal immigrants. And then you are going to say South Africans are xenophobic for wanting their children to be prioritized in public schools over illegal immigrants. Make that make sense. Like, how are you xenophobic for wanting your children, the indigenous people, to be prioritized in their own country? Come January, let's say January. Let's say January, right? Oh wait, sorry, what is here, right? Oh, it says we. Let's say January, right? You go to any African country. Let's go and let's see their admission, for example. Let's see their admission, right? think there is any African country that has problem with placing their children in schools because of illegal immigrants. There isn't. It's only in South Africa. Like there's just a lot of problems in South Africa when it comes to illegal immigrants, especially even rough. Imagine we even have a road accident fund for illegal immigrants. We have that issue. And you call people xenophobic for fighting their government and wanting illegal immigrants out of their country. Can you imagine, like, an illegal immigrant can claim for like the road accident fund in South Africa? An illegal immigrant. I lived in South Korea. I asked this question as a foreigner here: if I get hit by a car, will I get the benefits that a Korean person can get? They said no, you won't. But in South Africa, if an illegal immigrant get hit by a car or they get involved in a car accident, they will get that 2 million rand from RAF, from the road accident fund. They will get it. Now I saw them, right? It's very interesting when they amend these policies. So I watched one of the interviews of I think he's the spokesperson of RAF. He said that they're trying to amend the RAF paper, right? Because so let me tell you, here's the thing. The amendment, they are taking into consideration how the issues of road accident fund are disputed or solved in other African countries. They use Botswana. In this case, they are using Botswana as an example. In Botswana, it's different. So when you go to Botswana, remember you have like a period of days that you have to be in the country. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100% here. Like, the government has failed, like it has failed dismally. Like, imagine RAF, Emir RAF. So based on I think it's Botswana or Lesotho. So in Botswana or Lesotho, it is different. There is no such a thing as RAF. They have what do we call insurance. They have an insurance which you have to register for that insurance just in case you get involved in an accident. So if, for example, you register with the Botswana insurance, the insurance covers, like, it will cover the cost of whatever that you incur if you were to get involved in the car accident, which is a different case in South Africa. In South Africa, it's not like that. Unfortunately, it's not. In South Africa, you get hit by a car. If you're an illegal immigrant, you get awarded 200 million rand just like that. Is that the fact that you're an illegal immigrant doesn't even matter. But in Botswana, it's different. So this goes to show that the laws in South Africa are very, very stupid. I don't know, stupid. Because even the neighboring countries have better laws than us. Zimbabwe has better laws than South Africa. Botswana has better laws than South Africa when it comes to immigration problems. They do. They do. And then you wonder, why does South Africa, like, always, I don't know, sympathize or for me, I don't even understand our government, to be honest, when it comes to legal immigration, because this issue doesn't start from today. Yesterday, I even watched another video of Winnie Madikizela Mandela. She was talking about the issues of porous borders. You can understand that even this issue was there when Winnie Madikizela Mandela was still alive. So this issue has been like happening for decades now, but it hasn't been resolved. And then she said that it needed to be resolved. The law firms are, yes, those demons. As someone who studied law myself, I can guarantee you that, yeah. No, South Africa is corrupt, yo. Let me tell you one story. I studied law, by the way. Let me tell you one story. While I was saving my articles in Polokwane, right? While I was saving my articles in Polokwane. So apparently the law firm where I was saving articles, it was a small law firm. They didn't have like many clients. Many law firms in Polokwane, they don't have many clients actually. So what they do in Polokwane, those law firms, what they do is that they arrest, let's say, street dwellers. like street dwellers, like those people who sleep in the streets. They arrest them, right? It's some sort of I don't know, syndicates. There are many syndicates in South Africa, trust me. So they arrest this street dweller. So when they arrest this street dweller, this person will then sue SAPS for illegal arrest. So this is what has been going on in Brooklyn. While I was saving my articles, I remember the attorney and the advocate talking about it, this issue. So apparently, one of the guys came to our law firm and tried to propose this this idea, because the idea was already happening. Actually, it is something that was, I don't know if they are still doing it today, where they arrest people unlawfully so that the state can be sued, especially, let me say, SAPS in this regard, as government police services, they can get sued for the unlawful arrest, because it's a lot of money that they get from SAPS for unlawful arrest. It's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. So that is what has been happening in Pulukan while I was saving my articles there. And I was like, no, these people are so, like, they are so, like, fucked in so many ways. Like, imagine they work with police. Actually, they work together with the police officers. They use that thing of vicarious liability. So it's like the police arrest you while he's on duty, right? So that they can pass the vicarious liability claim. They arrest you while he's patrolling. He just arrest you, take you to prison, and then the law firm will come to represent this street dweller, and then that's how they sue the state. That's how they sue SAPS. You will see many in if you go to Polokwane, you will see many cases of suing SAPS. They have many cases of that, and it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, like 2 million or 20 million. For unlawful arrest, you can claim a lot of money from the state. That's what they do there. You see, like the country is quite corrupt in so many ways. It's corrupt there. It's crazy in South Africa. Yep, that's what happens. Let's see.
That we have to compete with at public hospitals. We have to compete with when we're looking for space for our children at schools. And much and much are saying that's unfair on South Africans. So my question is, if you provide this amnesty, if you regularize illegal immigrants, how does that then answer the question of the resources that we are all competing for? Whether it's jobs, whether it's public
Schools.
health institutions, and how overburdened the system is, that's still going to be the reality, isn't it?
Exactly.
No.
Did
I
she
just want
say
to
no?
clarify.
Did she say no?
Whether it's public health institutions and how overburdened the system is, that's still going to be the reality, isn't it?
No. I just want to start by saying, firstly, and it's just something that's been repeated by through these marches and in interviews. Calling a migrant illegal dehumanizes a fellow human being.
How so?
Yeah.
This woman is crazy. Yo, I feel like they always say South African people don't travel. It's very funny when you live in a foreign country, for example, Asian countries. Here, it's normal to be called a foreigner. It's normal. It's like you're a foreigner, and even myself understand that I'm a foreigner. I don't feel what do you say, dehumanized? I don't feel so. How is it dehumanizing to call someone what they are? These people are crazy.
But they remain a human being. We know that apartheid dehumanized Black people and used names and way they refer to us as part of.
You're not even Black, ma'am. This woman is not even Black.
Why I say no to your point is that it is colonization and apartheid that created structural unemployment in our inequality in our country.
Is she blaming apartheid? Is she serious? I can admit that apartheid has kind of, caused a lot of damage in South Africa. Even in the modern South Africa, yes, it did. But is she literally blaming apartheid for, like,
migrants to be blamed. What we are doing, this discussion is detracting from holding our states to account for failing to transform our country. The poverty.
This is the thing, right? Even if South Africa wants to get transformed, but then the question is if they transform South Africa, is South Africa getting transformed for illegal immigrants or for South Africans? Like we need to have this conversation of transformation. When South Africa get transformed, if it does happen, is it getting transformed for foreigners to accommodate foreigners, or is it getting transformed to accommodate South Africans?
55% of South Africans, that's roughly 30 million people that live below the poverty line. Now, stats from Stats SA, these are verified statistics that is by one of the most efficient departments in our country.
It's so funny, in as much as people blame apartheid, right? Like, to come to think about it, right? Each and every year in South Africa, we have a budget. You know the budget, right? We always have budget. They always announce the budget, right? So, like, put apartheid aside. We have budget, and the budget is always billions. It's a lot of billions. I saw that Home Affairs was budgeted like 12 billions of rands to actually safeguard the issue of illegal immigration. It was posted like 2 days ago. So we have those billions. And then how does apartheid hinder those billions from transforming South Africa? I mean, these billions are awarded to departments each and every year. Each and every year. All departments in South Africa, they have their own budget each and every year. How does apartheid hinder those billions from transforming South Africa? Because apartheid is not going to transform South Africa. Money transform countries, Billions. These people are getting billions each and every year. Billions. The tax of South Africans. And then she wants to talk about apartheid. Let's talk about the budget that it is given to all the departments: education, healthcare, even the labor to create jobs. Where does that money go to?
Country says between 4 to 5% of the population of South Africa are foreign nationals out of 65 million people. So, just the maths doesn't add up to say that 3 or 4 million people are causing 30 million.
But now you are lying, because nobody knows how many illegal foreigners are in South Africa. Like, you don't know. Even Home Affairs doesn't know how many illegal foreigners are in South Africa. Nobody knows.
Live in poverty, or to have 60% of young people unemployed. And these are not people that are uneducated. These are people who are civil engineers. These are doctors, lawyers, who have invested in their education, where, there's facts.
She didn't answer the question,
How many domestic workers are struggling to ensure that their children have a better future than they
And remember,
have
she's
growing
not
up
black.
under apartheid. So there is poverty, there is inequality, but it's not the migrants. We are allowing this government to get away with not dealing with transforming our country from the horrific past. And secondly, we are not holding the government to account for corruption as a mismanagement. Where money
The government is held accountable for corruption. Where do you live? Do you live under the rock? Didn't you watch the Madranga Commission? Weren't those people like government people?
Is looted from the state for resources that should be going towards ensuring our public health facilities function and
are fully capacitated. Got you, Sharon. Let me bring in Jacinda now, who is the leader of March and March. Jacinda, I'm going to start just with you as well by just getting your thoughts on this proposal by some people that there must be amnesty that's provided to these undocumented migrants. Do you think that could work? It could perhaps help even our government sort of track and trace and regulate the migrants, because now they are in the system? Or do you think this is just going to make things worse?
Thank you so much
once again for the opportunity. And I'm going to ask because Sharon and I had an interview elsewhere yesterday, and her and I kept being.
You are lying. You are lying. There's no budget for Matlanga Commission to continue the Lord's work. What happened? Did the Matlanga Commission just stop in the middle of the investigation? Really? I'm gonna look up at this later. Really? Stress, I'm going to look up this information later. The Matlanga Commission ran out of money. Oh, these people, they love corruption. Your NC
It's about
is
one and the
black,
same
man.
thing. Every time we talk about the issue of illegal immigration, she mentions this figure of 3 million foreigners. And I think that's disingenuous of her because we are talking about illegal immigration, which currently ranges from 15 to about 30 million because nobody actually knows the actual number.
I said the same thing. I said the same thing. Nobody in South Africa can really tell you how many illegal immigrants are, because first and foremost, illegal immigrants are undocumented. How would you know and how many undocumented people you have in a country? Because first and foremost, you wouldn't even allow them to enter the country because they're undocumented. So they don't know how many undocumented people. They're crazy. If you go to job, if you want to understand that in South Africa there are many illegal immigrants, you can just go anywhere today. Small towns, villages, big cities, suburbs, there are illegal immigrants. And you're telling me like the illegal immigrants in South Africa are 3 million. Yeah. That Sharon lady's crazy.
Immigrants in the country. So when she's dishing out statistics to try and deviate the conversation from what it's really about, then she mustn't try that because it's not going to work anymore. This thing of making it seem like we only have 3 million foreigners. Oh, goodness, how bad could it be? Second to that, she can't talk about race and tell us about this thing is about black people and black people being oppressed when we, as the same black people, are the ones that are oppressed. And Sharon over there is busy supporting it because we are of the belief that white people are the greatest beneficiaries of illegal immigration. One, because they now can hide behind having them as their little slaves who can do all the little things that they want by giving them cheap labor. If we as South Africans know that the laws in this country demand for a minimum wage of 100 rand,
is it only white people that are hiring illegally?
Majority, I said majority, because remember, we're talking about who runs the economy here. And we all know that the economy isn't run by black people. And I'm saying, and I did say, this is an opinion. This is an opinion and it's not factual. Now, I'm saying, when that happens and South Africans are saying we want 100 rand for as required by the minimum wage, they quickly say no, it's 20 rand as illegal immigrants because they know they're undocumented. And that's how South Africans end up sitting at home and not working because the capitalists are the ones making the most money out of foreign nationals. Also, government officials are the biggest beneficiaries as well because they love claiming that there's problems and those problems are in millions. And when you have problems in millions, then you can demand more money for that budget. We know this. On top of that, South Africans themselves, and I say this all the time, I never take away blame from South Africans, from government, from even these NGOs and NPOs like the Lawyers for Human Rights who get funded by Open Society, who's trying to create a global culture in our country without giving us authority to have a rule over our own country. And I'm saying South Africans are also contributors of this because they're the ones that go to these salons and go to these shops and they buy from the tuck shops and then you end up hearing children dying from the poisoned food, etc. But back to your question about whether or not this idea of documenting them will work, I can safely say anyone who believes that must, one, let's say it's since government thinks that it's going to work, I would say I agree. They can document them, but on condition that they're going to take every single one of these immigrants that they are now documenting in their millions and they'll keep them in their communities. Because you can't say you're going to document people and then they must be a problem for people who are poor. And they must compete with poor communities for houses, for infrastructure, for schools, for hospitals, etc. That does not make sense. The people who are busy saying that people must be documented and living in centers,
I'm telling you, it's still on, but it won't be funded again. Apparently, remember they're given a time. Ah, really? They are not enough money. Weren't they like given millions for the commission? Where did the money go? No, South Africa is a moving.
And anywhere else that is fancy. They've got high walls, they've got private hospitals, their children go to private schools, so they're not as affected.
You know, one thing I'm against like illegal immigrants, right, is because I'm a South African, right? And I'm baby, right? And even as a Bedi person growing up, I grew up amongst Bedi people. Like that is it says that it is just a culture. I'm not saying that there mustn't be like other people in our communities who are not Bedis, blah blah blah. I come from, let's say, in Limpopo. In Limpopo, if you know Limpopo, right? Like Limpopo is divided like tribalism. In shenanigans. Yes. Like not just Limpopo, but I'll just give an example with Limpopo. In Limpopo, there are three tribes there. We have the Pedi, we have the Tonga, we have the Venda. Even so, like we are all like divided, like in terms of territory. And some people can claim, oh, this has to do with colonization or whatever, but that is not true. Black people have always been tribal for centuries. I always say this. We have always been tribal for centuries. We have never mixed. Even before we were colonized, we were tribal. The Ngunos lived with the Ngunos there. Even the Ngunos, as time went by, they separated from the Xhosas, the Zulus, and the Ndebeles. They separated because like cultures evolved, beliefs evolved, ways of living evolved. So they had to regroup one another, the Ngunus. I can talk about the Sotho and the Tswana, let's say the Pedi people, right? Even amongst ourselves, we had to regroup because if you look at the Pedi tribe, for example, it didn't start as a Pedi tribe. The dynasty, it started as a dynasty before kingdoms, right? It's from the Tulare, right? From the Tulare dynasty. From the Tulare dynasty, and then we have the kingdoms like the Khetsi and the Mampuri, right? And then it went down to many tribes. I mean, many groups of many people that we have in South Africa today. So for me, I grew up like in a very dominated community, right? And I don't know, I just feel like it's our habit as African people to be tribal, to not want to mix with the people that we don't want. So if right now you're saying you're going to document people that we don't know, where are they going to do or where are they supposed to live? Which tribe needs to be diluted? I don't think the Zulu people they want to be mixed with Somalians, let alone Nigerians. I don't think the Xhosa people want to be mixed with Nigerians also, let alone Ethiopians. I don't think the Pedi people want to be mixed with Ethiopians, let alone Zimbabweans. No, and it's not even about South Africans being tribal. If you look in all African countries, they have tribes. They have groups of people living based on the same language, the same ways of living, the same culture and traditions. This is an African thing. It has nothing to do with colonization, because some people they have this misconception that oh, tribes were born by what do we call, like colonialism. No, tribes have existed way before white people even knew there's a continent called Africa. Tribes have always been there, and tribes are not going to change today because Abu Ramaphosa or Abu Malima they think now, like as Africans or South Africans must mix. It's not going to happen. And so even myself as a very person, I don't think I can fit in with the Igbos or the Yorubas in Nigeria. Even the Shonas in, like, for example, I will give you a simple example. You go to Zimbabwe, they will tell you in Zimbabwe that the Shonas, they don't like mixing with other group of people. The Shonas, the Shonas, yes, thank you. The Shonas also don't like mixing with other group of people. In Zimbabwe, our neighbor, we have the Shonas. That's the group that I know. They don't in North in because I did my degree in Northwest. I remember in Northwest there is like It's a human thing. I can agree with you on that one also. It's a human thing. People are tribal. Like, it's not about xenophobia. If, for example, let's say people went to South Africa, right? If they live in CBDs, I don't think anyone would have a problem. But the problem with illegal immigrants now is that they are forcing to mix with like tribal people. Many South Africans, especially those who choose to remain in the villages, they are very tribal. They don't like mixing with other groups of people. They don't. It's just not in our nature, unfortunately. And as um human chapter 3, what is that? He's saying that it's just a human, it's a human thing. I agree with you. It is a human thing. For example, I will give you a simple example. Look at what is that place, the white people's place, Oranio or whatever, Oranio or whatever that place is. Even white people, they have their own territories. They do. White people have their own territories in South Africa. Like, there are white communities. They don't like mixing with black people. And some of them, it's not because maybe like they're racist. It's not out of racism. Human beings, they just love grouping themselves with people they speak the same languages with, they practice the same traditions with. It's not something that is starting with black South Africans. You call Zulus like they're tribalist, Bedis are tribalist, Xhosas are. It's not being tribalist. It's just nature, as he calls it. It's nature. It is just nature. Even Europe, in Europe, there is Italy, right? There's Italy. In Italy, those people are Italians. They speak Italian. That's how it is. There is Germany. They are Germans. They speak Germany. They are Germans. There is Scotland. English. Even the English and the Afrikaners, they don't get along. They don't want to live like in the same place. They don't have the same world views. They don't practice the same thing. They don't. Because one, the Afrikaners are the descendants of the Dutch. The English are the English. I mean, the notorious group in the world. English people are notorious. They are the ones who started this colonialism thing. Because you see us, you hear me right now, I'm speaking English. It's a human nature. I agree with what he said. It's a human nature. It's not about people being xenophobic. Like, I'm telling you, if I go to Nigeria today, I have to integrate with them. I cannot mix. It's impossible to mix. I cannot go there and be like 80% there. They will chase me like in my first day. It's a human nature to be tribal or to be segregated or whatever they call it. So that is just the reality. So when now they're saying they want to document aliens, people you don't know, which communities, like Jacinta, she's saying, okay, you can document them. Take these people, take them to your communities. I agree with her. If they document them, live with them. Live with them. They must live with these people. They must live with these people. I agree with what she's saying, 100%. Because there is no tribe in South Africa that wants to be diluted. I'm telling you, even as, like, there is no tribe that wants to be diluted. There isn't. I come from, let's say, my town is called Palabora, right? In Palabora, for example, I will give you a very simple example. Palabora. In Palabora, there are Tsonga people in Palabora, right? Even though there are Tsonga people in Palabra, I can tell you and guarantee you 100% we do not mix with the Tsonga people. The Tsonga people have their own place called like Changani. It is dominated by Tsonga people. And then we have Pedi people. And like the places are divided by like a river. A river. Like when you cross the river, that other side is Changani. And then the other side is like the Pedi people have different uh, areas or zones. Like there is Makushani, there is Mahune, there is Tipeng, there is Mashishimale. But then the reality is that these people, they do not mix. They don't. So now, if you're going to document aliens who don't even understand how we live as South Africans, Because this is what is happening already. You see Nigerians, you see Malawans, you see Ghanaians, you see Ethiopians, Pakistanians, Bangladesh. They are mixing themselves with like the communities, and this is what is making people angry now, because it's like we don't recognize these people, we don't speak the same language with these people, we don't have the same way of living with these people, we don't want these people. It's not like they say, oh, we hate these people. No, it's just people that are trying to preserve their cultures, their traditions, their tribes. And for me, I feel like South Africans have every right to not want to mix with other people. Because, like I said, the Zulu people, the Beni people cannot go today and go and establish a community in Igbo, the northern part of Nigeria, or the Yorubas, which is the southern part of, or they can't, it's impossible. The Nigerians wouldn't accept that. They will feel undermined, and they will feel like they're being invaded because they don't know Pedi people. They don't have any history with Pedi people or with Zulu people. They wouldn't feel comfortable. They will protest. They will say, no, we don't want these people in our communities. Get rid of them. We don't want you guys. You can go and live in the suburbs. That's why countries have suburbs. Suburbs and cities. That's why people can mix. They can be people from all over the world. No one will complain because it's cities. They were like founded based on like different cultures, different traditions. But villages or small towns are not founded on different cultures and different tribes. Towns are founded on the same the same tribe, the same language, the same ways of living. I will tell you, like, even let's say my primary school, the schools in Palabora, for example, in the past, in the past, they didn't have like Tonga. It took them a long time to introduce Tonga in their curriculum. They didn't want to because they felt like they were invaded also. They didn't want to. But after a while, the Tonga people were able to establish their territory. But do you think like today they would want another group of people to come? Like let's say a Somalian. Do you think they will welcome a Somalian today? It's not gonna happen. Never. I think also the Tongas, for example, they were welcome because they're just our neighboring country from like Zimbabwe. They're like part of the Shonas, right? I think that I'm not sure about where the Tongas are from, but their history in South Africa is quite, because it's a separate tribe actually. The Tonga people are a separate tribe. Because in South Africa, like we have like three main tribes, right? We have like the Ngulus, we have the Sotho and Tswana. Maybe it falls under the Sotho and Tswana. And then we have the Tonga, which is separate. It's distinct. It's a distinct tribe on its own. It doesn't share any history with any tribe in South Africa. Like, I don't know, unless if I have to do my research on Tonga, the Tonga tribe. So you understand that this thing, it has nothing to do with other African people. It's just South Africans, just like any other Africans, any other group of people in the world, they're just trying to preserve their cultures, their traditions, and their territories. They don't want to mix with people they don't know.
South Africans who on a daily have to deal with all of this. Because when I was saying the same thing, that if those 25 children that have today died from poisoned food had been white children, right now something would have been done about these father shops.
Your movement has previously argued undocumented migrants are overwhelming services because we're competing for resources.
Not just services.
Your solution
Illegal immigrants now are even overwhelming communities. No longer about service now.
is let's have stricter enforcement, let's have removals. But I suppose I'm trying to think of it realistically. How do you deport millions of people like that realistically? So when you document them, does that then not provide an opportunity to be able to regulate them? Because even if you're saying deport, not everybody is going to come up and present themselves as an undocumented migrant. So they're still going to live within our communities.
I think someone had a better approach on illegal immigrants in South Africa. This person said, arrest them. You cannot deport them, then arrest them. arrest them. That is the only way. Because deportation also is a lot of money. Do you know how much is a flight ticket from South Africa to Bangladesh to Pakistan? It's a lot of money. Then if they get arrested for how many years? Give them 3 years in prison. 3 years in prison. After that, if you deport them, I don't think they will come back. I don't think they will come back. The main reason they keep coming to South Africa is because they know they will not get arrested, they will not get deported. And then again, they document, let's say there's 3 million. Another millions are gonna come, are they gonna document them? Because they come every day.
Secretly, without really identifying themselves as undocumented. So we are not getting to the solution. So what then becomes the solution?
No, we are getting to the solution. One, because communities have expressed for themselves that they no longer want to live with illegal immigrants in their communities because they've seen the effects of it. So no government and nothing can force a community to live with people who they're not supposed to be living with in the first place. Second to that, self-deportation is always going to happen if people no longer have jobs, they no longer have buildings, they no longer have these hijacked homes that they keep living in. It's about creating a situation where none of these factors exist so that illegal immigrants can thrive. Lastly, even NGOs and NPOs like Lawyers for Human Rights going to courts and finding reasons why they should continue to live in dilapidated buildings and buildings that are hijacked while the owners are crying every day for their homes and their buildings that they invested in. And also, on top of that, if our government was serious about deporting people from outside of South Africa who are undocumented, they would have done it by now. Because we've got all these embassies who have people in their country, but you'll never hear our government calling all these embassies and saying, hey, listen, we've got a crisis here. We've got millions of your people in our country, and our deportation is very costly. Therefore, we demand that for every single illegal immigrant, you fork the bill for them to go back home. You will realize then that these countries actually have an ability to stop their people from coming into South Africa in millions and millions. And once they start carrying the burden of their people in South Africa, change is going to happen.
All right, thank you, Jacinda. Let me give Sharon an opportunity to respond to that. Sharon, what Jacinda says is we can't keep on talking about the 5% of the population or the 3 billion number because the conversation here is about undocumented migrants and not just the concept of migration. How do you respond to that?
Figure is inclusive of people who are documented or undocumented.
Our government has told us many times they don't know how many undocumented migrants are in this country. Nobody has the number.
Nobody.
So where do we get it?
They produce regular quarterly reports based on birth registrations, and they carry out their surveys, the census. Those are all scientific ways of
This woman, she's lying. You know that illegal immigrants, they don't even have bank accounts. Like they take money in cash. Literally, they sell in cash. They don't have accounts. They don't have bank accounts. How do you know if there are millions or billions of foreign illegal immigrants?
providing. Yes, it is an estimation, but it's based on there is a figure. When we hear that the country is flooded by migrants, then where's the verification for that generalization? How do we know that there's billions of
our eyes, observation, ma'am. We use eyes. For example, how do I know that there are millions of South Africans in the country? Because everywhere I walk, I see a South African and come across a South African. That's how I know that there are many South Africans in South Africa. Again, how do I know that there are many illegal immigrants in South Africa? Because wherever I walk, whenever I turn, I see an illegal immigrant. That's how you know that there are billions, millions of them.
Which are not documented. And I just want to bring a point.
So can I just correct there, Sharon, for a bit? I've just checked also because I've hosted the statistician general here, and I've just also done a quick Google search to confirm that what I'm saying is right. But Stats SA even indicates that it does not directly measure or estimate the number of undocumented migrants because the census processes do not even ask about your legal status.
No, that's what I'm saying. So the 3 million or 5 million is inclusive.
She's just guessing. She doesn't know.
And that's the question we've got to ask. Why isn't there a mechanism to collect this aggregation?
Where do you currently reside? Now I'm in Thailand. Legally so, by the way. Legally so. Legally so. I didn't jump. I don't know. How can someone like be interned illegally from Africa? Yeah, Africans like they do wonders. People overstay their visa. Yes, people become illegal immigrants in like Asian countries because they overstay their visa. Or some maybe they use fraudulent um, passports. Uh, I'm in Thailand right now.
On movement of people, because I'll put it to you, and there is research to demonstrate that there's a lot of circular migration. So people come into South Africa, they sell their goods, they buy. Limpopo, the economy has benefited incredibly.
I almost said a bad word. Yo, which Limpopo? Yo, this woman like she will get killed by people from Limpopo. Do you know how many unemployed people are in Limpopo? Do you know how many unemployed people are in Limpopo? I was talking with my sister the other day. She was telling me that like people in Limpopo they have had enough of like the makulas in the tuck shops. They no longer want them. They said these makulas they are very arrogant and disrespectful. And you are telling me which economy?
Millions from those shops that are selling goods.
Which
People
shops?
coming from Zimbabwe, coming from Mozambique, buying goods in our country and
You
taking
know,
it back.
okay, with Zimbabwe is a different story, right? I want to say something about Zimbabwe since I share the border with those people. When I was growing up, we used to have Zimbabweans in South Africa. I mean, like in Limpopo, selling uh, scarce things that we didn't have, but then we needed. And during that time, I remember, like, we didn't have any issues with Zimbabweans, to be honest. And even then, we didn't have Zimbabweans committing crimes in Limpopo. No, it were good days back in the days when Zimbabweans were starting to migrate to South Africa. But after a while, we started having like the bad ones, the serial killers, the serial rapists. So this one
Because
is
the
taking a
economies
rubbish.
are in crisis. But I just want to make a point around deportation. We can talk about deportation, and I'm not sure, you can Google this as well to verify it. But the estimated total of the cost of deportation, because the minister just announced that 500,000 people were deported in the last 3 years, that over the last 5 years, the cost, and this was a parliamentary reply, so it's documented, that it cost this country over 220 million rand over 5 years to deport people and back to their home country. So I think that the proposal for an amnesty takes into account the cost of repressive policies, the cost of keeping people in detention in police holding cells and needing to provide food for them, the cost of keeping people in Lindela. And all that money is coming from taxpayers' money. So we can have shouting about deporting people, but there's a cost, and that money could have been put back into ensuring that we can invest in our public health facilities, ensure that we have more doctors and nurses, and that there won't be such long queues, and that there's no drug stockouts, because there is a serious problem of drug stockouts in our public health facilities, and that's because of austerity measures.
This woman is talking rubbish. There is already a budget for healthcare in South Africa. Just because they steal the money doesn't mean that we shouldn't make budgets for other things. The budget of healthcare in South Africa it is well given or disposed every year. There is no shortage of money when it comes to healthcare.
Measures that this government has put in place.
Sharon, Ekambrim, thank you so much for joining us, manager of the Refugee and Migrant Rights Program at the Lawyers for Human Rights. I thought we should wrap up our conversation by speaking to someone who works on the front lines who understands immigration better than many of us, Dr. Mike Masiapatu, who is the Border Management Authority Commissioner, joining us on the line. Dr. Masiapatu, thanks for making time. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. We appreciate the opportunity at the BMA.
Yeah, we've been having a debate on the show this morning about whether or not regularizing undocumented migrants could work. And there are some who think it could, some who think it's not going to work. And of course, policy is not where you get involved. But on the front lines, what can you tell us about just undocumented people who are crossing over? What are you seeing? And the numbers getting worse? Is it getting better?
Yeah, you see, Clement, when we took over this responsibility, with all honesty, and I suppose it is also well documented, people were literally just walking into the country. So that has been a reality. And I suppose one of the reasons for that, human beings operate in very interesting ways. If they realize that they can just walk and there is no any, firstly, any kind of barrier, but secondly, there is also not any element of pushback, then they keep coming because it's basically a word of mouth, and that's the reality. So that is why when we then had to come through, we had to do a number of things. And among those things that we had to do was to basically say to people, it is very much illegal to walk into another jurisdiction without paperwork. In as much as it is something that is fairly obvious, but the reality is we had to start dealing with people and make sure that there is a mentality shift. And on that basis, we started doing the work. And that is why up to this point, we can say over 600,000 people have been intercepted and stopped from entering South Africa illegally from the 1st of April 2023. Now, at that time, we were actually dealing with high numbers. And the high numbers were on the basis of the message not having reached everybody. But as the time progressed, I can confidently say we have started to see some bit of respect in terms of our laws, in terms of people just walking into the country illegally, and we have seen the numbers going down. Just lately, for example, Clement, we spoke about 68,000 that we intercepted on 4 days, on 24 days in the past. But now the numbers went down to 24,000. That is 24% decrease. And that decrease was also on the base of technology that we've deployed in the ecosystem.
Well, what about those that
Thank you,
somehow,
Sia.
go
Thank
home
you.
who are, let's take asylum seekers, for
Wait, do you have a
instance,
YouTube channel?
because sometimes some people present
Well, let me
themselves to
see.
be deported, so they want you to find them because they know you're going to send them back home, and they use that opportunity as just like a transport fee that you're donating because they're not paying to go back.
Do you have
home
a
to see
channel,
their loved
Sia? Do
ones.
you
So
have a
you
YouTube
deport them
channel?
back to Zen. Let's take Zen for an example, but they still somehow may find a way to return to South Africa. There are people who are asylum seekers, but who go back home for Christmas, who go back home for burials. How do we then explain that?
Yeah, you see, if we have to talk about the two groups that were articulated, Clement, I suppose we're supposed to have some bit of time so that we can really dissect. But with the time that we have, let me put it this way. When an asylum seeker enters into another jurisdiction and they say, I'm running away from my country, I'm here requesting to be protected, they have to be protected and under normal circumstances cannot go back home, or even the country where they are cannot push them out because according to UN protocols, that is called refoulement. You are basically taking them back to what they are running away from. So that is the protocol. But at the same time, there are certain conditions in which a particular asylum seeker or what you call a refugee in a particular jurisdiction can actually go back to their country. That is under very controlled circumstances and it is actually managed in a very strict manner under immigration protocols. In this instance, it can be a person who is, for example, going to bury their loved one and they go into that particular event under protection and they're able to actually come back under protection.
Who is supposed
So
to
there are
protect
very
them?
strict protocols in all of those. But the people you are referring to, which is the majority in this instance, is not even refugees per se. These are the people who are in the country as economic migrants, and these are the actual category that you are referring to. And these are the people that will exit South Africa, the majority of them based from within South Africa. Because there is an agreement that they can move in between South Africa for 90 days without visa, then they are able to ultimately come back. It means that they are not necessarily illegal, they are just moving under wrong pretense. So they move as visitors, visa-free, because of the 90 days, but they're actually not visitors and they end up being employees inside the country.
Yeah, Dr. Mike Nacho, thank you for bringing in your voice in this conversation as well.
Oh, what music genre? What music genre? In university, you used to be a DJ university. Like you have music. What do you go by on Spotify? What is your name? Like you go by Sia. What is your name? Like what kind of genre? My piano. Piano. I'll do like lifestyle content. That would be great actually. Oh, like especially South Africa has like many content to do. To be honest, there is a lot of things to do. Like living abroad, I realized that there are so many interesting content that you can create in South Africa because living abroad, right? There are a lot of misconception about South Africa. A lot of misconception. Like people are misinformed. It's not even a joke. People are misinformed about South Africa. You go by Raffinado. Let me see. Wait, I have like the other. Where's my other phone? Oh, here. I suppose I might have Spotify here. Spotify Afro House Raffinado. Oh yes, the phone has Spotify. Oh, university gone are those days, right? I do remember like some students like DJing university during freshers or maybe like some events. It used to be nice. So what do you do now? Like are you maybe like busy because of work? I know like once you start working, you start I mean you stop doing a lot of things. It happens. Imagine you are in varsity hustling your way and people call you lazy. You know, I never take those things seriously. I never take those things seriously. Like if you ask me, like South Africans work, you know, people don't even know the realities of working in like South Korea. Just that I cannot say it now. But if you see how hard we work in that country, you people will stop talking nonsense about South Africans and calling them lazy. I'm telling you, like many Africans wouldn't survive a month or a two working in South Korea. It's not even a joke. You know the reality of working for years and you don't even understand like a thing called holiday. Like seriously, I was talking with one of the teachers that I used to teach with. And I was like, "Oh, are you on holidays?" She's like, "Oh, stop pretending. You know there is no such a thing as a holiday here." I just followed you. I think this is you, right? I just followed you. South Africans work hard. It's just that there are people who are always against us and they want to take everything that we do. Can you imagine? Oh, you have many listeners. Let's listen. This is your music, right? Okay. I'm trying to play one of your songs. Oh, Afro. Ah. Oh, this is so good. Do you also make your own beats? Ah, you're into with semitone. Ah, okay, see. Ah, this is actually good. You released like a EP cultured. I can tell. Do you like black coffee? Oh. You make good beats. Insomnia. Raffinado. It's really hard to juggle between the two, right? Like being a DJ and being an engineer. It's definitely difficult to do both. Kofi has that man has been like in the game for ever since I was born, or before I was born. Seriously, he has been. But this is really good though. It's good, Sia. You should like try to do it like on weekends, on weekends, especially Saturday. You just like dedicate Saturday to DJing. It can work, but it's just difficult being an engineer and being a DJ. It's not easy, especially if you live far from things. Yes, yes. Good luck. You should do it on Saturdays because you have like good music though. This is very good. Oh, see, now I'm gonna end the live. Actually, my father loves this kind of music. I will recommend it to him. My father loves like Afro, like deep house or house. I always confuse deep house and house. This is house, right? Not deep house. This is house, not deep. My father loves this kind of songs. Deep house, like, is his favorite. I'll recommend this to him. So, see, I thank you very much for your support today. And let's hope people stop misunderstanding our country and calling us names. Let's just hope that people stop lying about our country. So thank you, and I hope to see you soon again when I go live. Bye bye.